Right. Good morning, August Dishes fans. Today we're making Oliver salad. I always make it differently, but I gotta tell you, it always has to have kielbasa. It always has to have pickles. It always has to have mayo inside of this bowl. I already have eggs, split peas. Here we go. Let's start making it. I'm gonna cut it up into half. This has to be done extremely well. I'm actually gonna put on my glasses to make sure that we're not gonna cut our fingers, as I may have done that a few times already. So when I cook, I like to talk. I have a little bit of a thing going on. See, my family, they own a business. My sister owns a business, and I've been working for her for the past 20 years in a retail store because I love people. I like to hear from people. I like to hear people's problems. I like to help people with their problems. I graduated Kingsborough College. I got my master's in child psychology. Now I'm actually in Brooklyn College. I'm finalizing my bachelor's in child psychology, and hopefully will go on to work as a child psychologist. So having the job that I did was very, very good. Why? Because it gave me opportunities to bond with people, to kind of, just wiping off, it's a little bit moist. It gave me opportunity to connect with people, to bond with people, and to hear about people's issues in life. You know, people come in, they try on shoes, come in with their kids. Their kids sometimes misbehave, and you know, you put your skills of being a child psychologist to use. You give them coloring books, you ask them to color, you ask them what's bothering you, meanwhile, all together selling shoes. So, in a sense, multitasking. Well, I've been doing that for 20 years. Also going to school, also being a mom, also being a wife. But ladies, and probably gentlemen too, it's nothing new to us. We've been doing that. That's what we do. Multitasking is a parent's second hand. If we don't know how to multitask, we're not gonna accomplish anything. See, like I'm sitting here, I'm talking to you. I'm making this beautiful Oliver salad, cutting up the kielbasa for it. But I had already made mushroom soup that's on the stove. It's boiling away. It's been on for like 2 hours, but there's a lot of meat in it. So that's why I'm not gonna turn it off until like probably 9. Because there's beans, and I never used canned beans. I always used dry beans in the soup. And I would like the mushrooms to be very well done. I'll use a mixture of dry mushrooms and fresh mushrooms. Fresh mushrooms I dice up with some onion, and I let it fry only when they're brown and kind of, crunchy. I'll add them to the dry mushroom mixture in the soup. Then I add beans, and then I add 2 packets of barley. And I let that go on a very low heat. In about half an hour into the cooking process, I add a tablespoon of butter, which is pretty necessary for this type of soup. So as you see, I already had made that, and it's only 7:37 in Brooklyn, New York. Okay, soon we're gonna have the daylight savings time end. See this? This is the kielbasa. I'm gonna put it in the back of us, because in the back of us is the salad bowl where I'm doing everything. So I derailed from the topic. So I'm working in the shoe store, dealing with people, loving people's energies. Sometimes there are people that come pissed off. Your husband pissed you off, your wife pissed you off, your children pissed you off, and you kind of have to be timid with them and cool with your husband and wife, depending on the nationality. I'm not one to be timid. But then you want to take out your aggression. Sometimes you take it out on your salespeople, which is fine, and some salespeople fire back. I'm not one of those people. I try to understand where the person comes from. I sit down with them like, you want a cup of tea? I'll go make you a cup of tea. You want a cup of water? You want something, to eat? Let's order some food. Let's have a conversation. Let this not just be a store. Let this be a community of getting together. And let this be a community where people know, hey, this place is cool. I could come in and talk. And I love that. But I had an argument with my brother-in-law over some family nonsense. And you know what wound up happening? I was let go. After 20 years of putting hard work into the business of my sister, I was let go. Adding pickles. Crazy, right? Really mean and messed up. But it's crazier is that God always gives you signs. You know how they say when one door closes, another one opens? Well, I'm a churchgoer. I appreciate every single religion. For instance, my husband is Buddhist Catholic, and that's perfectly fine. Our daughter will be whatever she wants to be, whether it's Buddhist, whether it's Catholic. I'm Ukrainian Russian. My husband is Puerto Rican Italian. Our 5.5-year-old is Puerto Rican Italian, Russian, Ukrainian. I'm half Jewish, half Christian. My grandmother is Christian. From my mom's side, her father is Jewish. From my father's side, my father is Christian. My husband is Catholic and Buddhist. He found Buddhist faith because he had a hard time in his life and he needed peace and tranquility. So he found Buddhism. Our daughter, Michaela, the sunshine of our life, will choose what she wants to be. For now, we're just leading her not to judge, not to see color, never to judge a person by their inability, disability, disadvantage, over-advantage. If she sees an elderly person, she helps. Always. At 5.5 years old, this girl is like that. She will hold the door. And you know what the funniest thing is? Her number one saying is, teamwork makes the dream work. That's why I encourage you guys to please hit the subscribe button, because my dream is to have as many followers as I can so I could reach everyone for the love of the recipes that I share. It may not be every day, it may not be the most snazziest, fanciest, but it's what I cook for my family at home. And you know what? I truly, truly, truly love my family, and I feed them the best. Next, we're gonna chop up the egg. Hold on. God, here you go. 2 eggs. We're not gonna chop it up. We're gonna fork it up. What I mean? Fork it up. See? I'm forking the eggs. Forking the eggs. Alright, so you see, we all have our issues in our life. So right now, yesterday actually, I went to church. I was saying my prayer like, God, it's not a good time that I lost my job. You know, my mom just came out of the kidney surgery. Remember I told you guys. My husband donated a kidney over a year ago to a person so that my mom could get a kidney in return because he wasn't her match. And my health didn't allow to donate because God knows, if I would have the opportunity to donate a kidney to my mom, would do it in a heartbeat. You know, but my husband said, the good soul that he is, mom got the kidney, so of course she's not working. So of course we're all living on one income, my husband's income. And it's not easy. So I am trying to do something. Going back to school. I'm getting my master's in child psych. Hopefully getting a job, but it's gonna take time. So in the meantime, I pursue my hobby of cooking and sharing my thoughts with the YouTube family. Hopefully to get something and become an influencer. Eggs. Now, I did that. We're gonna add now the mayo, which is the resistance. Oh, speaking of which, guys, when you are making the Oliver salad, what not to do? Don't ever add the salt right away because you're adding the pickles, and depending on the brand of the pickle, pickles could be salty. So once you add 1 or 2 pickles, depending on their size, I added 3. Taste the salad after you add the mayo and mix it diligently. Why? Because when the mayo is mixed with the cucumber, there is an extra taste of saltiness. So if you add more salt, you're gonna kill the salad. Okay, let me wash my hands. I'm gonna grab an onion, dice it up, throw it in there. I'll be back in 3 seconds. feeling my onion. Throwing it in. Dicing my onion. Have you ever, any one of you beautiful watchers of my channel, have you ever had a situation where you trusted the person indefinitely, loved them deeply? Doesn't have to be your spouse, because this is my brother-in-law, not my spouse. Completely different. And they just betrayed you because of a little mistake you made. Did you ever have that? Can you share it with me? Even if it's a little bit. Because it's hard for me to understand what happened. Because we all make mistakes. But you could sit down, you could explain it, and it shouldn't happen again. Or you could just let the person go, knowing that they don't have one, knowing they have a 5-year-old child, 5.5-year-old, knowing что, мам?